Ma, I need your phone. Sorry. Well, awesome. Thank you for joining me. Mina, Talaga,
Well, I thought that you not started yet.
I'm live.
Okay. I'm just saying here, I'm glitching.
This is being married to a Filipina.
I
When you're sleeping in the morning, she makes noise. When you go live on YouTube, she makes noise. But being married to an Americano, she goes to sleep early at night and I make noise. So we're kind of even. But hey, thanks for joining me. Where you at, Mountain Man?
know. I didn't know you're live now. Hey guys!
We're gonna have the remote. Ma,
Is it there?
really? Stop. Can you find it? It's on there where you put it. You got wrapped up in the burrito?
No. Well, you're using your mouth and mouth. Use your eyes.
Thank you, my love. And the Coke are on.
Oh, do you use your eyes when you're looking for something?
Yes, dear. Just gonna give everybody a couple minutes to get in here. Northwest Ohio, okay. I'm not far from Old Man. I'm probably maybe 2 hours away from him, a little bit north in Georgia. So I'm in a place like Tallapoosa, Georgia, Buchanan, Georgia. Just waiting for these storms to come in. I thought you were going to take a shower. Do I do any fishing or hunting? Yes to both. In fact, me and the wife were just talking. We're going to go get our Alabama since we're getting ready to move over there, we're going to get our Alabama licenses because there's a pretty big lake over there called Lake Weiss. Pardon me. And we're going to go check out the fishing over there. It's supposed to be pretty good. Hunting, well, let me tell you where we are. We have a lot of deer. Even on our property in Alabama, we're actually pretty fortunate because we're in the foothills. So we have about 30 acres total for the homestead. And then our neighbor next to us, who's like-minded, has about 20 acres. Guy across the street from us, he's got 70 acres. And the older gentleman behind us, he's got like 300 to 400 acres. He's got a cattle ranch over there. So the deer over there, I'm gonna tell you, we got some huge deer over there. And we got bear. We got bear over there too. So looking forward to doing some hunting over there. Now I know turkey season is getting ready to start here. So I might just go out back here because we get wild turkey running around all the time here. So might just go out back and pop one off and cook it for dinner. Get a nice big old tom. You done that? But yeah, we're just, you guys got these storms coming your way too, right, Mountain Man? Because I know we're going to get hit with it here in a bit. Well, actually, it looks like. Hello there, Eternal. Glad you came over to join us. Just looking at the weather right now. You know, I don't know what's going on with the weather down here. We're getting all these advisories, but right now it's showing we got a 13% chance of storms today. So I don't know. I know it's pretty dang windy outside. I actually had to take my flag down, which I don't like to do. And the only reason I took it down was because they were calling for 80-mile-an-hour winds here. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Okay, cool, Mountain Man. Appreciate you. And Mountain Man, do you have a channel as well? Yeah, you know, Eternal, it's one thing about Georgia. Ever since we moved here, the one thing we've always heard is don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes. It'll change. I can tell you, a couple nights ago for the blood moon lunar eclipse, I wanted to go live with it. And it was beautiful outside. And the entire day we had a 19% chance of rain. Cool, I'll go over and I'll return the favor to you, Mountain Man. Like check out some of your stuff. So I went out, got everything all set up, went live right around midnight. I didn't want to be out there too long because I knew that the eclipse was going to last until 6 a.m. So I went out there, got everything set up, got the moon all in focus, and started the live. wasn't even 5 minutes. Here came the clouds covering the moon, and the show was over. And thank you too, man. I appreciate you. So we didn't actually get to see the lunar eclipse here a couple nights ago, which kind of bummed me out. I was really looking forward to it. I get into that stuff. Yeah, I just did a video a couple days ago. Hold on a second. I did a video a couple days ago on the ISS going through its orbit as it passed by, and did a video as it did. But I get into all that stuff, even the way sometimes she does, when the planets were all aligned, 7 planets aligned, which they weren't all aligned. I mean, they were like zigzag across the sky. But we get into looking at that stuff, checking out Mars, hoping someday we'll be out there. Yeah, the weather finally cleared out about 6:30, 7 o'clock yesterday morning. So even if we wanted to see any of it, we couldn't. When I got everything set up to go live with it, we the moon was still bright white. So, but like old man said, that moon last night, that thing was pretty damn cool, beautiful. All right, so got a few of you in the room. I'm going to ask you all your opinion. What is your opinion of what Doge is doing? Not going to hurt my feelings. This is open discussion. Everybody's opinions count. I don't want anybody to get angry at anybody, but I want everybody's opinion on what they think about Doge. Yeah, I remember you from last night, Eternal. You said you're going to pop over when I went live today, and I appreciate you. See, I remember the people in the conversation. My memory ain't that good, but I still remember some of y'all. So, any opinions about Doge? What do y'all think? And Eternal, where you at, man? That's one thing I don't remember. Well, I don't know if it's so much a business strategy. I can tell you when I was in the military, long time ago, I was in under the Reagan years, and I can remember when the poop hit the fan because the military was paying $400 for a hammer. Oh, that's right. I don't remember where in Florida though. I was stationed down there as well. So with me, I mean, even in the Black Hawk helicopters that we had, inside the cabin of the helicopter, we had a hard insulation. It's soundproof to keep the sound out, so it's not as noisy. And we had these panels that would just come down. They were just probably about this big, and it was just so that you could see if there was any oil leak and hydraulic fluid leak and stuff like that. The hinges were made out of like a plastic material, but each hinge, which was an inch and a half by 1 inch, with 4 holes in it, so you could screw it in. Each hinge was $150. So I do know that there is fraud, waste, and abuse out there. I do know that there's people in the government that are taking advantage of the system that want to keep taking advantage of the system. That's why they speak so negatively about it. I do think that because it's a military contract, they're going to pay more for certain things, which they shouldn't be. You know, if you're paying $20 for a bolt that you can get at a hardware store, same bolt, for $1 or less, then there's fraud, waste, and abuse there. Now, I just did a video yesterday, a couple of days ago, of when I went to the Social Security office. My son needs a new Social Security card. So we went to the Social Security office to get him a new card. And I was shocked because I had been to this office before and it was always crowded. Went to this, well, first, I did the application for a Social Security card online. When you get done with the application, it specifically asks you if you want to schedule an appointment or if you just want to do a walk-in. It's only a half hour away. So I figured we'll just do a walk-in. So a couple of days later, because you have 45 days from the time you do your application, you have 45 days to get to the office and do your appointment. So we go down there. The lobby, the parking lot's empty, just like the video I did put out yesterday shows. We walk in, the lobby is empty. My wife corrected me, there's 15 customer service windows. When we got called, including us, there were 3 customer service windows being used. We sit down, the customer service provider, we will call her, asked what she can do for us. And I said, well, we need to get a new Social Security card for our son. His got destroyed accidentally. So she says, okay, what do you have for the required documents? So we gave her his passport and my ID. She enters everything into the system. Then when she's done, she's like, okay, unfortunately, you need to come back in 3 weeks when I schedule an appointment. We're like, why? Well, everything has to be done by appointment now. We're not accepting walk-ins anymore. And to me, it's just ridiculous. You got 15 customer service windows, 3 of them open, and you're not going to take customers and help them out real quick. So we left thinking it might be a long process. Turns out it wasn't, and I'm going to put out a video on that later tonight. So well, Doge isn't really crypto. Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency. Okay. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to find the fraud, waste, and abuse and do away with it to save us money. Me personally, I'm against crypto. I don't want anything digital. We use cash wherever we go. So I don't only want the digital crap. So you look at some of the spending, like $20 million to set up Sesame Street in Iraq. For what? That money could be put to better use here, especially with the homeless and drug problem we have here. I'll look into that Doge coin. The Doge crypto that you're talking about after the live. But if that's the case, I'll put something out on it because I'll tell you what. I know he's going to get something out of it, which kind of bothers me. Because here's the guy, he's the richest man in the world, doing all this for free. All the people he took in there are all volunteers, none of them are being paid. And that's kind of concerning to me. I mean, I'm not going to do anything for .gov for free. Not after what they put us through. That's just not going to happen. So I do think that there is an ulterior motive to the whole process. But I want to read something real quick. This is from the National Archives, Executive Order I-3576, delivering an efficient, effective, and accountable government. So, by the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, and in order to cut waste, streamline government operations, and reinforce the performance and management reform gains my administration has achieved, it is hereby ordered as follows. So, this was the campaign to cut waste. Now, take a guess when this was signed. Anybody? Any ideas? The campaign to cut waste was signed June 13th, 2011 by Obama. And if you actually go to do a search for Obama campaign to cut waste, you will find the actual White House channel video where he's talking about how he put Joey in charge of the campaign to cut waste. I'm not sure when crypto was created either. I've never been a big fan. Me personally, I don't trust it. I know some people have probably gotten rich on it, but I just don't see how, and I don't trust it. Because once you go digital, here's the thing people think about. Everything is digital now. Everybody's setting up their homes for all this smart technology and all this stuff. If you've got a lot of smart technology in your home, guess what? .gov can shut you off. If they go digital currency, they now have control of the money. .gov can shut you off. So, a lot of people are upset because of what Doge is doing. I don't like everything they're doing. I do like a lot of what they're doing. I don't think we should be sending money to the Dominican Republic for drag queen story times. I don't think we should be doing that. Our tax money shouldn't be used for that. Now, I do like the idea of the act or thing signed. It is the campaign to cut waste. And it is Executive Order I-3576. Okay, so there's the information. Oh, DOGE, yes, DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Now, here's the thing with DOGE. People don't understand is back in the 90s under Bill Clinton, he had a program, and I'm going to look it up real quick. that was called base realignment. So Doge is the exact name of the cryptocurrency? Wow. So back in 93, Bill Clinton had a base realignment and closure commission. Now I can tell you, when I first went in the military, we had 18 squadrons just within my wing. When I retired, there were 2 of us. And that was because of all the base closures. Now, do I agree with it? Not all. Probably not even half of it. Because just like how everyone's complaining now about veterans and government employees losing their jobs, when they shut down those military bases, all those people lost those jobs. You know what? You never know, though. Because here's the thing, and I'll tell you straight up, I do not trust anything they do or anything they say. You know, it's a lot like when I was in the military, when it came time to make a decision, a command decision about something. A lot of people would just be like, okay, yeah, sure, sounds good. Okay, yeah, let's do it. And I'd be like, no. And they'd be like, why you always got to be so aggressive with everything and stop everything from happening? I'm like, because you guys aren't thinking. The first thing you need to think about is, how is this decision going to affect our people? And that's the first thing that they need to look at, and they don't. Do I think that Trump tries to? Yeah. Do I think Trump does a lot better than past presidents in my lifetime? Oh, hell yeah. But as far as other government agencies and stuff like that, no. Yeah, see, like I said, man, I'm not going to do that crypto. Do I like sports? Love sports. Favorite sport is ice hockey. Love ice hockey. I don't really watch much professional sports anymore, simply because I don't want paid entertainers telling me how to be political or anything like that. It's not what they're there for. You're paid to entertain me. Just entertain me and shut your mouth. What about you, Jacob? But yeah, Eternal, I'm not going to trust that crypto at all. Not at all. I grew up watching the Broad Street Bullies, the Philadelphia Flyers. I remember Dave the Hammer Schultz. He was my favorite player. I remember when the Philadelphia Flyers were the only team that beat the USSR hockey team. And when I say beat them, they pounded them. What's your favorite hockey team? Now, Eternal, do you trust Bitcoin and stuff like that? Do you trust crypto? Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah, you know what? I was watching them a lot last year. I thought they really had a good chance last year, but Now let me ask you this, because I know you know who Brad Marchand is. What do you think about them trading him to Florida? And apparently it being his decision. Okay. All right. All right, Jacob. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Hey, I don't talk about it much either, simply because I don't like it, Eternal. I don't follow it. I don't want to be a part of it. And I don't want to be forced to be a part of it. That's one game I won't play. I refuse to allow the government to force me to do stuff that I don't want to do. That's why I'm totally against digital currency. So since we're on the topic of coin, what do you think about them stopping the production of the penny? Oh, definitely too unstable. I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm not going to dabble on it at all. Cash only. It's just like with the credit card companies. That's just a huge business now. Where you look at how a company like Walmart gets special treatment, but a small business, they have to pay a higher percentage on all transactions. Well, you know that they're going to stop making the penny. And please, Eternal, call me Tim. Call me Tim, call me Kozy, whatever. You don't call me sir. Well, I'm talking about the actual copper zinc penny. But yeah, oh, you're talking about the um, Bitcoin. Oh, definitely something to be digitally compromised, and that's why I don't want to do any of it. That's why I don't like debit, credit, cryptocurrency, none of it. I don't like any of that because of how corrupt it can become and how corrupted it already is. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you. So what do you do down there in Florida? Yeah. Well, it's so difficult. They make everything so difficult for us. I mean, who do you trust? Who do you believe? I can tell you that with what the last administration did, there's no way on God's green earth I'm going to trust any of that. You know. Well, ask away. All questions are welcome. All right. What's your opinion about a new law basically that's promoted by Trump and Elon, but it's banned after the crypto that Elon has been promoting? He most likely owns the crypto. Well, you know what? You're going to have to give me a little bit more information on that one. I haven't heard that. Like I'm kind of like you. I hear about crypto, but I just don't get into it. You know. So, but like I said, after the live, I will definitely do some research on the crypto. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. That's for sure. I think if that's the agenda, I disagree with it. I'd still like what Doge is doing because of the cuts. That's why I want to look at it. The law could be to prevent the conflict of interest. You know, it's just like with I don't know if you saw any of the Pete Hegseth hearing when they were asking him questions, and Warren kept asking him if he would not go work for any military company for 5 years after he is no longer Secretary of Defense, because that's how it is for generals. And his reply was, "Well, I'm not a general," and she kept trying to push it. But that's one of the reasons why they do that stuff is to prevent a conflict of interest. Now, if it's to prevent a conflict of interest and he's able to boost it up now so that when the conflict of interest is no longer viable, then to me it's still a conflict of interest. Okay. Yeah, you know, this is one thing that I honestly do not know very much about, but I'm going to check into it. You know, I like uncovering stuff like this. I mean, it's just like all the attempts on Trump's life. The media keeps saying that there was like 2 or 3 attempts when there was actually like 12. I think we're up to 12 now. You know, and people just don't realize it. 12 attempts on Donald Trump. And the crazy thing is, you don't hear anything about Butler, PA anymore. You don't hear anything about this guy who was caught in Florida, and you don't hear anything about the guy in Wisconsin who was trying to get through the security area at the RNC. You don't hear anything about the I think 2 or 3 in Arizona. So you know that's my whole thing. It's like when Trump was president the first time, and he just let Hillary off the hook for everything that she did. That to me, that was a mistake. The Department of Justice should have taken care of it then. Everything that happened over the past, you know what, ever since the first Gulf War, to me has been nothing but lies fed to the American people, and that's why I don't trust any of them. That's why when it comes to crypto and any kind of digital currency, I'm totally against it. Because here's the thing: once they have total control of the money, and this is what you got to think about. Hey, Charles, do you mind me asking your age? Oh no, you don't. You don't hear anything about the Christian beheadings. You know, and it's crazy. I've done videos on warning people to be ready at churches. And because they're coming. There's people that are here now. They're going to do lone wolf attacks and even plant attacks. But some of the comments I get are like, who's coming? What are you talking about? You know, they call me brainwashed and all this stuff, but they don't know my background. They don't know what I've done in my past or what I still am able to access at this point. But anyway, Eternal, if you don't mind me asking your age. Hey, welcome. You just came to the room. Come on in, say hi. Let us know where you are. So when Mama Mina comes out, I'm gonna have her sit down with y'all and have a little talk with y'all too. She enjoys it. She plays shy, but she enjoys it. So the reason why I was going to ask your age, let me tell you. When you give up your cash money, your currency, you're giving up your rights. Okay. Oh, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so you're mid-30s. Okay, cool. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't own it. I mean, richest man in the world. Come on. If that happened, that didn't just happen because of Tesla and SpaceX. So I kind of agree with you on that. So cash money is legal tender. You can buy anything, pay anything, buy anything anywhere. Even these places that are cash or no cash. It's legal tender. If you want to buy something, you have the right to buy it. Once you give up cash money and everything is done with either debit card, credit card, or crypto, they now have control of your money. So, say we run into a tyrannical government, okay, and there's an uprising, okay, like so many people talk about for the last 9 years now, 10 years, about an uprising because he's in office, or if he loses the election, or if this happens, there's going to be an uprising. So much talk of civil war over the last 10 years. It's freaking insane. Funny thing is, no one's had the intestinal fortitude to do anything. If there's an uprising, a few things are going to happen right away for .gov to get control of the people. One, they're going to cut off all your money. If we're all digital, it's shut off. You're not going to have access to any of it. Two, they're going to cut off all the power grids, electric, gas, water. You're not going to have access to any of it. And three, they are going to shut down the food supply. And that's going to happen automatically once they shut down the fossil fuels. And people don't think about that. So when you give up your access to cash and just go completely digital, you have the chance to lose everything. Nothing is unhackable. I'll tell you that. Everything can be hacked. All right, that sounds good, Eternal. I'd like that. And it is scary to think about. That's why if you look at like Right Side Broadcasting, if you look at the Officer Tatum or Anthony Bryan Logan, a lot of these really popular podcasters or channels, they always run an ad where they talk about buying precious metals. And to be honest with you, that's what everybody should do. Not now. You look at the price of silver and gold now, and it's freaking insane. And if you look at it for the past 5 years, if you look back to where silver was at its lowest price, that's when you should have bought it, not now. Now is when you should have sold it to get more cash. I mean, I can tell, I honestly don't remember in my life ever seeing silver over $30 an ounce. I don't think I've ever seen that. It's nuts. So to me, this whole thing is just everything that's going on is all controlled. Somehow, some way, it's all controlled. And I believe it's controlled by the governments who are defining what our interest rates are, what our food costs are. And it's not just the governments. It's companies like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and all the ones like them. You know, do you know who BlackRock is? Yes and no. I mean, if you can, that's why I talk about prepping and I talk about budget prepping. You've got to. Our daughter lives in the Philippines right now. You're in your mid-30s, so you won't remember any of this. But back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was a man down there named Ferdinand Marcos, and he instilled martial law in the Philippines. Now his son is the president, Bongbong Marcos, and guess what? There is talk of martial law there again. Our daughter still lives there. We're trying to convince her now, from everything that we're seeing, it's I'm probably gonna say it's a 95% chance martial laws will be put back into place in the Philippines. We're trying to convince her now to prepare now. Get cash, small denominations, stockpile canned goods, stockpile some water, you know, cans of fuel like butane, stuff like that, so that they can survive. Because once it's instituted, it's what's going to happen there is going to be worse than when they shut down the schools for the scamdemic. Everything's going to be wiped out. And let me tell you, down there, they will not stop price gouging. You're going to be paying out your butt for the cheapest stuff down there. And it's just going to go insane. Yeah. And that's, if they go to a total digital currency, that's the same thing that could happen here. Once they already control the fossil fuels, they already control all the fuels, all the power grid, all of it. They control it because of the smart technology. They already control so many homes because of the smart tech. All the smart technology people have in their homes, they don't realize they can be shut off just like that. It's just like cell phones. Did you know that back in the day, remember when you used to be able to take a battery out of your phone? Even with the battery out of your phone, they could still listen and see what you're doing through your camera. Now, you pretty much have to take your phone someplace to get the battery out of it and changed. So there's always someone listening. But you have to be prepared. You have to find a way. And I can tell you, we're not wealthy. We're not rich. We're rich with our love. I mean, me and the mom, we have a lot of fun every day. And we have a blast every day. But we do just fine. And the thing is, I try to teach people, when you go to the store, just pick up 3 to 5 items of canned goods, stuff that you enjoy, stuff you like, and just take it and stock it. Just make sure that you keep an inventory of it and rotate it. Make sure that you buy stuff that you eat, okay, on a regular. So, like, we love spam. Well, we learned how to make our own spam and can it. I love bacon. Well, I canned 35 pounds of bacon. Other stuff, my mom really likes sardines, Filipino style sardines. So we'll go to a Filipino store, we'll buy a bunch of cans of Filipino sardines, and we'll stockpile them. When she starts working her way through it, we go and buy more. But we plan for it. We don't go out and buy all this stuff all at one time. That's what budget prepping is about, is being able to go out and buy a few things at a time so that you can end up with a nice stockpile. And it's really that simple. And God, if we go to a complete digital currency, God help us. I think that crypto was one of the things that they brought out to push digital currency. I'm glad you're taking notes. There's so many things that you can learn. It's just simple canning, storing food, and how to store it, how to make sure that you rotate your food. It's just like the small canned hams. Hold on, I'm going to get one more second. Right here, small canned ham. It's cheap. It's not the best ham in the world, but let me tell you, I've got powdered eggs. I've got whole egg that I've had preserved for about a year now. Not cooked, nothing. In the shell, ready to eat. And the whole eggs are, if you preserve them the right way, they'll last 2 years. But let me tell you, you take one of these, you take some of it and you cut it up, put it in some powdered eggs or some raw egg, and you just cook that up real quick. That's going to make you feel so good. And it's really going to improve your morale in a bad situation. Especially down there in Florida with the hurricanes coming through there, man. When I lived down there, let me tell you, I had a huge stockpile. Huge. Now, luckily, when I was down there, nothing ever happened, but we were ready for it. All right, listening to this Google search is getting crazy. Wow, really? And that's the thing. Once you start digging into it, you start finding stuff that you never knew, and then you're like, and that's why, maybe, do you have a channel? If not, maybe you should do one. Maybe put that stuff out. This is stuff that people need to know. That's why I want to talk about Doge. Everybody's screaming right now. I just had a guy that went and commented on a video that I did February last year and called me a moron MAGA because I didn't like what Biden was doing with veterans with our benefits. They were taking our benefits and giving them to the illegals. At first glance, there is plenty of hits with Musk and Trump and future endeavors, but this one here I found touches on some of what you said. Okay. And that's the crazy thing. The information is out there. I'll stumble on it because I'll be like, what if this happens? And so I'll start doing some research and I'll actually find information. I'm like, holy poop, what's going on. And that's just ways for you to be prepared. Donald Trump on Wednesday signed an executive order meant to expand the power of Elon Musk's governmental cost-cutting program, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or doge, via Google. Yeah. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I think that they should be making cuts. I think, because even if after I'm done, I'm going to make this video public, and on the first comment, I'm going to post a link for the executive order. I'm also going to post a link for Obama's video and what he talked about, because he was talking about the same stuff, the same exact stuff that they're cutting, that everybody's getting all upset about now, is what he's doing. Oh yeah. And when I do a regular video, especially on something like that, I don't get a lot of views, but the thing is, some of the people that watch it, they'll comment. It's just like with about 2 years ago, I stumbled on a story about this man named Amos Miller. He was a Amish farmer up in Pennsylvania, up in Lancaster. What was the irony? It's named Doge, the very same as the crypto. Wow. So this guy, Amos Miller, he sells raw dairy and also meat to a private membership club. So there were 2 cases of listeria where one person got really sick and one person died. Now, luckily with my background, I know a little bit, because I've actually been to chemical, biological, and nuclear explosive schools. And the thing is, the .gov was going after him because they said the listeria was similar to the listeria that was found in the man that died. Well, here's the crazy thing. The listeria was similar because it's still listeria. The DNA is going to be similar because of all the different strains of listeria. It's just like with anthrax. When I was in the 90s, we were ordered to take shots for anthrax. It was an anthrax vaccine. It was 6 shots, one a month for 6 months that you had to get. After the shots, when I went to the schools, I found out that there's 25 strains of anthrax. This vaccine that they gave us was for one strain and one strain only. So if we weren't attacked with that strain of anthrax, we were screwed. And that's what they were saying about Amos Miller. So they went in, they shut him down, they took him to court, and the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture actually really went after him. They were literally trying to get him shut down. So what ended up happening was he's no longer allowed to sell his product in Pennsylvania. He can still sell to his private members across the country, but he can't sell it where he is, which to me is just crazy, because his private membership included doctors, which testified for him, and other customers who testified for him. Now, here's one thing you got to understand: when there's someone with listeria, it has to be reported not just to the county or state health departments. It goes federal. It also goes to the CDC. In all his years of selling his products, not once was there ever a report of listeria coming from this man's farm. But they shut him down in Pennsylvania. Why? Me personally, trying to get control of the food. They want to be the ones controlling the food. Look at what's happened over the past 4 years with chickens. How many chicken farms have been burned down? Oh, exactly. Well, they did tests on Amos Miller's products, and they will not release the results. Even in court, they would not release the results. So my thing is, I think that they are lying. They're just saying that it's listeria similar to what was found on his farm, but they will not release the results of what exactly was found on the farm. Amos Miller, AMOS. I did a couple of videos on it. The whole scenario is just baffling, the way they handled it. But again, like I said, my opinion, it's a way to get control of food. Look at the chicken farms that have been burnt down. All the chickens that have been killed in the name of chicken flu or bird flu. But no other birds are getting it. But now cows are getting it. And supposedly one human got it. But it's a bird flu. No other birds are getting it, just chickens. And it just so happens to be all the meat and egg laying chickens. So to me, it's screwy. It's fishy. Hey, everybody, welcome to the room. Come on in, say hi. Let us know where you're at. Just talking about a wide range of topics right now. We've talked about Doge, crypto, prepping, Amos Miller. So come on in, join the conversation. Oh, I definitely will. I would definitely will take more of a look at the crypto and any ties between Trump and Musk. I'm the one person who I thought would really be involved was Dana White because of how tight him and Trump were and everything that Dana White has said for Trump. I'm really surprised I haven't seen Dana White involved in anything. But yeah, I'm not going to trust that digital currency, crypto, none of it. Not going to buy into it. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, keep doing things the way I'm doing, and we'll see what happens. But I refuse to go digital. You want to come say hi to everybody? Okay, after you're done. What are you getting out? Lumpia? Lumpia?
Lumpia.
For lunch or dinner?
You make dinner.
What do you want? Yeah, you keep it up. We're gonna have hot dogs. All right, so now I need ideas for dinner, guys. What can I make Mom and Mina for dinner? It's just gonna be us two. Here in bed, we gotta go pick up our son from work, bring him home, let him get ready. Then he's gonna go do some volunteer work, and then after the volunteer work, he is going to go to a pageant. A couple of his girlfriends are actually in a pageant. So,
Hi, everybody.
But yeah, Eternal, that these little hams, man. And the good thing is, like this one, This one has a 5 year shelf life. So it was made in 2022 and it's good till 2027. So probably 2027 we'll go out and buy a few more of these and we'll start dicing these up, put them in eggs, put them in beans, all that stuff. That's the whole thing with doing stuff like this. You just buy 3 to 5 cans every time you go to the store. You'll get a nice stockpile. Now, do you know much about Filipino food?
The Filipinos.
Cold coffee? You don't want to sleep tonight, huh?
No, we have to stay awake.
Yeah, no. Oh, you like lumpia, huh? Oh, the ham. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not bad, you know. The first time we tried them, we were actually quite shocked at how good they were. And you know, with this one can, I mean, let me tell you, there's so many options. You can take this, put it in eggs. You can put it in rice. You can just slice it and put it on bread, or you can slice it, put it on crackers. You know, there's so many different options. That's what you got to do. You got to find something that you enjoy eating that's very versatile. You know what I mean? And that's what we try and do. I mean, rice, flour, all that stuff. I mean, let me show you Mama Mina's bread. This is half a loaf, a little bit more than half a loaf of Mama Mina's bread that she makes. And man, let me tell you, we'll go through one of these, if not every day, every other day, because of how good it is.
And the recipe.
But you know, even making your homemade spam, good stuff. And you know, the reason why we can it is when we have a chest freezer. But look, you know, especially where you are, you get a storm coming through. What's the longest you've ever gone without power? Oh yeah. The hams? Oh, the bread? Oh no, that bread is easy to slice. She does it all by hand. I can't do it. I'm blind in one eye and I have no depth perception anymore. So I'll start to slice and I'll end up doing this. You know, I'll cut the diagonal slices. But we're probably going to do a video on her bread over the next couple of weeks. She's going to start selling it here in the area. So, what? What? She got a little business going with her lumpia already. Let me see back. So these are lumpia. And the lumpia is basically, I guess you could call it like a Filipino egg roll, but so much better. But yeah, she's got a small business like going. But yeah, we'll do a video on the bread over the next couple of weeks, and get that going.
Here's my
Machine. Oh, the bread or the lumpia? How many ingredients is your bread?
Hold on.
5?
Milk, sugar, salt, yeah,
Yeast?
yeast, and
Flour.
flour.
Yeah. Both. Yeah, let me tell you, man. She'll make a homemade sweet chili sauce for this lumpia, and even just a sweet chili sauce. We're going to do a video on that this week. We're going to can it. Just a sweet chili sauce. I like just putting that on rice, cooked rice. To me, that's good for a meal. I'm happy with that. Now with the storms you get down there, what's the longest you've gone without power down there?
Where? What's that called?
Thank you.
Almost finished it.
Mm. You gotta stop. You're gonna make me have to go pee. What?
You can excuse me.
Well, why don't you come sit over here for a few minutes?
Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Well, one, I'm going to use the restroom.
Two.
You know.
Someone.
One.
Excuse me, give me 3 minutes.
You want to come sit over here though?
After this, I'm
Okay. All right. Look, I got to use the restroom. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Mom made us fill up a pitcher of water, then she's going to come sit and talk. You guys let me know if she doesn't come sit here and talk. Okay. She's going to play shy. Oh, just one of the memes I found.
Huh?
It's so, but she's going to play like she's shy, but let me tell you, once you get her, she's going to keep going. Okay. I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys.
Hello. I'm gonna say. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Oh, thank you. I'm trying. External. Where are you from, external? External XX. Yeah, they like it. Maybe because I'm his wife. My son loves it too. So. Oh, it's so nice there. Warm always. It's like Philippines, they says. Oh, you're from Georgia. And then you moved to Florida. Don't call me ma'am. My name is Nina. You make me old. Well, I'm old actually. Anyway, we're in Georgia. Lawrenceville. Well, I love country. Peaceful, quiet, you know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Tim is putting me in this. I'm not a talker. It's coming. Oh, yeah. So good. Where you stay now in Florida is city or I don't want to live in a city. Lawrenceville. Yeah, it's getting crowded slowly. Yeah, here too. When we move here, we barely see some establishment like fast food or something. And within 6 years, it's getting crowded. Left and right, there's establishment. He's back.
Really that quick? You want to get off?
I'm doing something.
What are you doing?
Something.
Nothing.
Something. Something.
Okay.
Have a seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, dear.
Yeah, we're talking about. He's from Georgia too.
That's right. You're from Georgia. You moved down to Florida, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Good to be back. Had to relieve myself and take care of a bad habit I had.
Yeah.
So in the next live video I do, I'm going to do a mini pantry tour. So I can actually show you some of our stocks and some of the stuff that we have canned. So canning is definitely a good thing, good way to go. You know, and the reason being, especially for like you down there in Florida, I mean, are you close to the coast? If you have potential for hurricanes and losing power, the good thing is if you do lose power and your frozen or perishable stuff goes bad, you rely on the stuff that you can. So that's why we really like canning. So we're gonna okay. Yeah, we definitely rely heavily on the food that we can. I'll just give you an idea. I mean, we got stuff we have canned. Just what I can think of off the top of my head. We have flour, cornstarch, oatmeal, instant potatoes, jellies, spam, bratwurst, sausage, bacon. You know, we're in all that. We can everything that we can. So over the next month, we're going to be doing, like I said, this week we'll be doing the sweet chili sauce because that'll make anybody happy. You can put it. I treat it like it's Frank's. Okay, I put that on anything, and it's just really good. Gonna be doing chili, beef broth, beef stock, chicken stock, and whatever else we can think of. So, but we do water bath canning and we also do pressure canning. So we're going to be showing how the process for doing those. We already did a video on how we made our spam. And let me tell you, that is so dang good. Yeah, I know. Me too. Me too. I'm probably just going to take some of Mommy's bread, make some toast, put some good butter on it. That's another thing we do too is we make our own ghee, which is a very refined butter that's much better for you. But yeah, we can all that stuff. So I was in the Navy. I did 23 years. Out of 23 years, I got 19 days on board boats. I pretty much land based the whole time. I was with Navy gunship helicopters, and I did helicopters my entire career. One of the only people that can really actually say that. I haven't really been to too many places. Been a good bit in the Middle East, Poland, almost every state in the continental U.S. and Alaska. Been to some other countries, but didn't really get to see anything because of what was going on there. So, but I've been to a lot, done a lot, seen a lot. I did 23 years. I retired, joined in 1983, straight out of high school. In fact, my family didn't even know I enlisted. And, we were, the town I grew up in was a small city in New Jersey. Don't hold it against me. I'm one of the wise ones that decided to leave. And I just didn't want to be stuck there my whole life like everyone else ends up. And we had a Coast Guard base in my town, and Fort Dix, the Army base, Fort Dix McGuire Air Force Base, was probably about a 20-minute drive. So constantly having helicopters fly over the house and everything, and the Coast Guard base was just a few blocks away, and their helicopters would fly over. And I always had a thing for helicopters, so I wanted to work on helicopters. So I joined the Navy, and I got to do that. And thing is, I'd go and talk to an Army recruiter and told them what I wanted to do. And they said, yeah, we can do that. And then when it came time to sign the paperwork, they wanted to get me infantry. I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I want helicopters. Like, well, you go and you do this, and then you can go into helicopters. I'm like, no, I'm not falling for that game. So I went and talked to the Air Force, and they wanted to get me on in-flight refueling tankers. And I was like, no, that's not a helicopter. So I walked into a Navy recruiting office. There was an old, crusty senior chief sitting there on the phone. I walked in, and he said, let me call you back. And he hangs up the phone. He's like, what can I do for you, son? I said, well, sir. He said, don't call me, sir. I work for a damn living. I said, okay. He said, I'm senior chief. I'm like, okay, senior chief. I want to work on helicopters. What can you do for me? He said, come on in, have a seat. He picked the phone again, just mumbled stuff into the phone and said, okay, and hung up. He said, you got it. I enlisted on August 10th, 1983. And like I said, no one in my family knew. They had no idea. It's crazy. And in October, I was sitting out back with my mom and some of her coworkers. And we were just sitting there. I was 18. We were drinking PBRs. And one of my mom's coworkers, who my mom actually babysat when he was a baby, he's like, well, Tim, you've been out of high school a few months now. What do you think you're going to do with your life? I said, well, I joined the Navy. My mom went, you what? I'm like, I joined the Navy. What are you doing here? Well, I'm not scheduled to leave yet. Well, when are you leaving? I told her November 7th. And she said, do you plan on telling anybody? I'm like, yeah, when I was getting ready to leave. And that's how my family found out I joined the Navy. And for the next 23 years, I had a blast. And then I was actually in Iraq, went down to Bahrain for some R&R. And then when I was in Bahrain, we stayed in a hotel that was, when we were there, this is how nice the hotel was. When we were there was an Arab prince staying in that freaking hotel. Okay. Me and one of the guys I was with, we walked down to the kitchen and little restaurant. Mama Mina, she came out of the kitchen, looked at us, said, 1 minute, please. Turned around, went back into the kitchen. I turned and looked at my friend. I said, man, I don't know why, but I'm going to marry her. He said, shut up. You are not. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, I'm going to marry her. 2 months later, we were engaged. A year later, we were married. I've been having a blast ever since. She is from the Philippines. We have a daughter. She's my stepdaughter, but I consider her my daughter. We have a daughter in the Philippines who's married with a daughter of her own, our granddaughter. And my son was born in the Philippines. And we're hoping in the next few weeks we'll have a really big announcement about my son. So I'm pretty stoked. I've always been proud of my son. But if this happens, it's going to be a very, very proud moment for sure. So, but I'm not going to say anything about it until it happens. And when it happens, everybody will know because it'll be done live. So we're looking forward to it. So, well, yeah, that's pretty much it for me as far as the Navy went. I worked on, let's see, H1s, H2s, H3s, 3 different versions of the H-60, which was the Navy Black Hawk. And then I worked on the MH-53s. So 7 different helicopters I worked on in 23 years. And, you know, it's crazy. Before I retired, I actually got my bachelor's degree in aviation management because I enjoyed aircraft and I actually enjoyed running the airfield. And I figured when I retired, you know, that's something I'd be interested in doing. But when I retired, let me tell you, I haven't been near a helicopter since. I haven't even thought about going near a helicopter or running an airfield. So I retired. I actually moved back to New Jersey. Want to take care of my mom. The one thing I always promised her when I was a kid, I would always take care of her. Even though me and mom didn't have the best relationships, I always said that I would take care of her. And moved back so she could retire. So I retired in 2006, and she was already 64 when I retired. And I was finally able to convince her to retire so she could enjoy some of her life. And she did. She retired. And then I was trying to get my mom and me her visa, which took 9 years. And actually went to the Philippines to visit because our daughter down there, she had her 18th birthday. And down there, the 18th birthday for girls is like Sweet 16 here. Okay. Went to the embassy to find out what's going on with her visa. And they're like, you got to call this phone number. I'm like, wow, what's going on? I can't tell you anything. You got to call this number. I called them. Come to find out the lawyer that I had hired never sent the visa application in. He just took the money and never sent it in. Swears up and down that he did, but they never received it. So the process had to start all over. And, you know, at that point, I told Mom and me, I said, look, I said, if you don't have your visa by August, I'm moving down here in September. So August came and went. September, I moved to the Philippines. And let me tell you, loved every day with down there with my wife and kids. We had such a good time. We went on vacation probably 3 times a year. The food down there was delicious. The fruit, my God, man, the fruit was so delicious. I don't like bananas here anymore because you can taste the difference. Believe it or not, especially when it's irradiated, it's going to change. It's going to degrade the nutritional value as well as the flavor of whatever gets irradiated. So that's why she'll buy bananas, and I might have 1, maybe 2, if that. But to me, it just doesn't taste the same. So lived down there for 6 years. Then Mom had gotten brain cancer. My sister lived about 15 minutes from Mom, and she couldn't handle taking care of Mom. My brother lived and worked 5 minutes from Mom, and he refused to lift a finger. So me and Mom and me talked it over, and we decided it would be best for me to go back and take care of Mom. So I did. Left my wife and kids in the Philippines again, still waiting for a visa. My district congressman did absolutely nothing to help us. Said there was nothing they could do. So I came back here, took care of Mom with her brain cancer, and then after she passed, when she had her cancer, the congressman finally decided to go ahead and expedite her visa. And my mom died in November of 2015, and October 2016 is when Mom, me, and my son were able to come here. And it was just crazy. The whole process was just nuts. That's why when it comes to all this illegal alien stuff, I'm totally against our tax dollars being given to them the way they have been. And then in March of 2017, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months after my wife and son got here, we got a letter. My sister was the executrix of Mom's will. We got a letter from my sister's friend, who was a lawyer, saying the house had been sold. We got 30 days to vacate, even though they knew I was getting ready to put a bid in my house. House been sold, 30 days to vacate. Yeah, you know, man, it's and it took me 13 years to get my VA benefits, and it only happened because of what Trump did in his first presidency. You know, 13 years I had to wait, and so once we found out that mom's house had been sold, we had 30 days to vacate. I was talking to a friend of mine here in Georgia, my best friend. This guy, he was the only one in my life I could ever truly call my best friend. He So what are you going to do? I said, well, we're either going to go homeless or go to the Philippines. And I said, I like going homeless. He said, yeah, you're not going back to the Philippines either. He said, look, we got a fully finished basement. It's yours. Come on down. Get back on your feet. So we did. And it was the best move we ever made. You know, we came down here, stayed with him for uh, just over a year. And then we found this place out here in the country and been happy ever since. Unfortunately, my best friend was killed almost 2 years ago. And it's still hard for us to deal with the loss of him and his wife. I mean, his wife died 8 months before he did. And that was just nuts. I mean, just the whole span of a year was just difficult for all of us because we actually the homestead out there um, is all of ours. You know, it's a shared property, and you know, just losing the two of them, it just took a lot. It took a lot out of us. It's been hard. And now we're coming up next month's going to be its second year death anniversary, and every time it gets difficult to deal with it. You know, especially with the way he was killed. So because he wasn't supposed to go out like that, and his wife wasn't supposed to go the way she did either. So what do y'all have going on this weekend? Anything good? Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. But we're getting there. You know, we're slowly but surely getting the property ready. We're hoping to be heading out there this year. Yeah, and man, let me tell you, it, we were closer than brothers. You know, brothers that protected each other. You know, and we both told each other that, and we both know it without even telling each other that. The bond that we have is, I truly believe, is something that everybody searches for in their life when it comes to a best friend, and we had that. You know, but he was really cool cat. I mean, there's still times we'll still talk about him and his wife. We'll just sit around laughing our asses off because of it. A lot of good times, and that's what we try to remember. So now, are you interested in canning at all? Do you do any canning? I know being from Georgia originally, I'm sure you had grandparents or somebody that did it. Yeah, you know what? Every day we wake up and we're able to take another breath, we're all blessed. Yeah, just like you, we're all blessed. We're very thankful. So very grateful for what we have, what we've had, what we have, what we've had, and what we will continue to receive. What's up, Mountain Man? Welcome back. No, it doesn't help the fruit taste better. The fruit in the Philippines tastes better because it's not irradiated. You know, it's like the bananas here, and any fruit that comes in goes through a process called irradiation, and it kills any bacteria or anything living, any critters living in the fruit. So it actually diminishes the nutritional value of that product as well as the flavor of the product. So the first one went to the Philippines and I had bananas. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what they taste like. It goes down there, they've got like, I don't know, 5 or 7 different varieties of bananas. They got a banana there, it's like the size of your thumb. You know what the benefit of it is? If you have diarrhea, you eat this, you eat like 4 or 5 of these little bananas, your diarrhea is done. You know? Oh yeah, radiation. A lot of people don't know what it does to the product. And that's why one of the things I really enjoyed the most in the Philippines was eating the fresh fruit. When you go down to the yellow mango or even the green mango before it ripens, um, is so delicious. I mean, you can go to like Costco, BJ's, Sam's, something like that, and every now and then and find the yellow mango, but the taste is different simply because it's been irradiated. You know, we love that stuff, but you can definitely taste a difference. It doesn't have the same flavor as it does down there. Oh, and definitely homesteading is the way to go. I mean, here, you know, we're out in the country where we are. Um, the town we're outside the city limits where we are, but the city itself is like maybe 6,000 people, if that. Now, out where we're going to be moving to Alabama, um, we're going to have 4 neighbors in our area, and we're really looking forward to that. Man, Mountain Man, come on, join the discussion. We're just talking about homesteading or whatever topics anybody wants. We talked about cryptocurrency earlier and Doge, and a lot of stuff. So, what's on the agenda for this weekend for you guys? Anything good? Pardon me. Oh, dang, Mountain Man. How'd you manage that? Breaking your foot? That can't feel good. When I was in the Philippines, our daughter broke a bone in her foot. Like the day before we were leaving to go on vacation. Was that the vacation we went to Bataan, Cebu? We went to a place called, we went to an island called Cebu. And she's limping the entire time. And next thing you know, we go back. She finally gets checked out. She broke a bone in her foot. And of course, she didn't want to pay for crutches or anything. So there I am, strapping her to my back, carrying her around with us everywhere we went. It was funny. Oh, outbound, man. Damn. Yeah, that's not good. That'll ruin your weekend. So how long you laid up for with that? Well, that's good. Smooth recovery is always a good thing. You good?
Yeah.
Say hi to Mountain Man.
Huh?
Say hi to Mountain Man.
Hi, Mountain Man. Where's the Mountain Man?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Hello.
Reading Revelation is always a good thing.
Revelation. Yeah, again.
So this obviously is my better half, the love of my life, the pain in my ass. Ay, ay.
Why?
Pocket.
Welcome na.
Well, thank you. You know, it's crazy. She's my third wife. I'm her first husband, and we had people don't understand me. I'm 60. She's not. I'll just say that. But she's
I'm 70.
she's just a little bit younger than me. I'll say that. And some people are shocked with how much fun we actually have, how much we laugh. You know, always having a good time. You know, it's like we're in high school kind of thing, but we just like to have fun.
A lot of drama,
No, not from us. You know, these damn kids are these days. They're nothing but drama.
We have drama.
Dang, how many more weeks you got left? We don't have a lot of drama.
We have a lot of drama.
I'm dead. No. Do we have any cough drops,
Cough drops.
please?
I need a cough.
Well, we'll pray for you now, man. Hopefully it's healed by then.
Ah, open mouth.
Don't break my teeth.
Wide.
I don't have many left. Don't break them. Mm. You all right? What time are you making lunch? Or are you waiting for him to get home?
Huh?
You waiting for him to get home to make lunch?
Yeah, you wanna eat?
No, I'm okay. So we're gonna have lumpia for lunch. Do we have any sweet chili sauce left? Okay. Lumpia. Let me tell you, she's doing pretty good with that business.
What business?
She sells her lumpia for $2 each, and then she sells her sweet chili sauce. She's doing pretty dang good with it. We get people just ordering 2 dozen of them just for dinner for 2 or 3 people. Well, this weekend we're going to be busy with our son. You know, I'm not an early person. She is. She's got a body clock. Her damn body wakes her up at 5:30 every damn morning. Me, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, you know, whenever I feel like it. But this morning we had to get up early. I had to get up 5 o'clock this morning because our son had to be working 5:30. So we got to go pick him up here shortly. And bring him home, let him eat lunch. Then he's doing this volunteering through school there on this Irish festival in a town not far from here. So he's going to volunteer there. Then we get to go back there a couple hours later, pick him up, take him to school for some kind of beauty pageant or something or other. And a couple of his girlfriends are actually in the pageant. So we're going to stay there, watch that. And then tomorrow, so we get up early, go to church, which is 45 minutes to an hour drive. Then we got to come back here right after church. We normally hang out down there with some really good friends of ours, the other part of the Kozy Homestead. And but tomorrow we got to come right back because he's got to be at work at 2:00 tomorrow. So then tomorrow he'll go to work at 2:00. Then we got to wait for him to get off work, and then we'll go back and pick him up. And that's our weekend. That's what we get to do damn near every weekend. There's some Sundays when he has off. Some Sundays he doesn't have to be in work until 4. But we'll just hang out. We'll probably watch a couple of Filipino shows and a couple of movies. Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? What's next?
Lunch.
Yeah, we won't be on here another.
It's lunch. What time Florida?
What just happened? Did we lose signal or something?
What?
Did we lose signal?
What?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it. I don't think so. No, something just popped up on the screen here, some kind of writing, but I missed it.
Charge this.
I'll plug it in. Hello?
You're charging this.
Well, just unplug the flashlight for now.
I know.
Yeah, busy.
Here's a 60, so.
But it's okay because we enjoy. You know, we both retired early. We decided to stop lining someone else's pockets with money. You know, it is. He's heavily involved. You know, this kid, since he's heavily involved, we're heavily involved. So the past month has been crazy for us because he's going to be graduating in a couple of months. Yeah. So he's in beta club. He's the president of the debate team, president of the theater group. What else? President of the senior class. He was a homecoming king. Now there's talk he can be the prom king. He's so far when he graduates, he's going to have already completed 10 college classes.
It's a busy morning.
You know, growing up back then, we didn't have much. We were dirt poor. I mean, there were times we were eating horse meat because of how poor we were. Hamburger helper with horse meat. I mean, that was a norm for us. That was one of the staples in our house was hamburger helper. I mean, growing up back then, though, I mean, we spent all of our time outside. You know, I knew every street in my town. Man, my hometown was small, and I used to walk the whole town all the time. But as far as needs, I mean, I was pretty fortunate. When I was in high school, I worked at an old Italian bakery in New Jersey. So I learned a lot from him, from the owner. And then, when I first started, what happened was me and his son were friends, and he would go in at like my friend would go in at like 10, 11 o'clock every night, and he'd make the donuts for the next day. Well, I would just go in and hang out with him. I would just sit around and talk with him, or we'd have, donut dough fights. Let me tell you, that donut dough, that hits you. That stuff hurts. And one morning early, the owner came in. It was my friend's stepdad. He looks at me and says, "You know what? If you're going to be here bothering him while he's working, you're going to work. Wash the dishes." I laughed. I said, "What?" He said, "Get up, wash the dishes." So I got up and I washed all the pans. A couple weeks later, he came back. He's like, "Tim, I was honestly just trying to get rid of you, but you're doing great. Make some donuts." So I started making donuts. And by the time I left there, I was making Danish, cheesecakes, everything, breads, all kinds of stuff. So I still have a passion for baking. Everyone tells me I should open a bakery, but that's a young person's game. I'm too old for that. I do sell some of our baked goods around the holidays. I just don't do a lot of it because I got a bad back as it is, and just being on my feet baking for even 4 hours, that kills me. My back ends up numb and I can't move for a day or two. But that was one of the things that I enjoyed as a kid. Now I was a bad kid. I started smoking when I was 10. Started drinking Budweiser when I was 12, and started smoking the other stuff when I was 13. Don't do that stuff anymore. I barely drink. Just the smoking is really my only bad habit anymore. And I don't even do that much. I mean, a pack lasts me 2-3 days. Um, but drinking, I'll have a beer every now and then. I think, when was the last time I had a beer? Was it was it Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Did you drink it?
Yeah. I think Thanksgiving or Christmas this past year, I had one moose head. And before that, it'd probably been 2 or 3 years since I even had a drink. The other stuff, I stopped smoking November 6, 1983, which was the day before I left the movie. So as a kid, I mean, then as far as needing stuff, honestly, probably more love. My dad died when I was 12 because of bad heart from bubonic fever. One of his valves went bad, so they replaced the valve, and he couldn't play basketball anymore. Supposedly, he was drafted by New Jersey. This was a story I was told. My dad was drafted by New Jersey to play basketball, and during preseason, during a practice, he collapsed on the court, had a heart attack. They rushed him to the hospital, found out they did open heart surgery. I can still remember my dad's scar going from here down around his rib cage all the way to his back. And they replaced the valve. And since he couldn't play basketball anymore, he went to the bottle. So he died when I was 12, mostly from the bottle because he drank every day. But look, the importance of education wasn't instilled in us. Church wasn't instilled in us. None of that stuff was. All the stuff that teach you the good morals and responsibility. Honestly, I didn't learn that until I became a leader in the Navy, and that's when I learned all that. So, but yeah, that's what I needed as a kid, was having a father figure to teach me good morals, respect, responsibility, all that stuff, which I try to do with my son now. He doesn't like it sometimes, especially the way I do it. But I think in the future, he'll understand the reasoning to my madness, and he'll probably appreciate it then. I'm hoping that he takes a little bit of what I taught him and passes on to his kids. So, but yeah, his needs, that's probably it. How about you? And I don't mind the random questions. I mean, you guys can ask me whatever you want. I don't hide anything. I don't lie. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm always truthful. And I think that's how everybody should be. Because if you're sugarcoating it, you're lying. If you're not sugarcoating it, you're telling the truth.
I like.
So, welcome to the room or the chat. Come on in. Let us know where you are and what you're doing this weekend. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You know, it was the constant helicopters flying by. I don't know what it was, but it started, I say 8 years old is when it started. Just those helicopters flying by just at rooftop always did something for me. And I was always wanted to experience that. So I was pretty fortunate, you know, and thankfully that Navy senior chief got me into helicopters. And all through my career, everybody's like, you need diversity. You know, you got to do something other than helicopters. You got to go do instructor duty, or you got to go do intermediate maintenance, or you know, you got to go with like C-130s or F-18s or something like that. I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's my career. This is what I want with my career. Oh, you're never going to get promoted. And I ended up getting promoted. I mean, the only reason I retired was one, Mama Mina after retired. And two, I was offered a job back at one of the squadrons where I worked with Navy SEALs. And the one thing that they told me was if I went back, they promised me seniorship. I'm like, no, that's not how I want seniorship. I don't want you that way. I want it earned, not given. And that's the only reason why I retired. But yeah, man, always had a love for helicopters. I can remember sitting in the library at school with nothing to do, getting a piece of paper and a pencil and drawing gunship helicopters in a battle. You know, just crazy stuff. And that was just the mindset I had. I mean, like my son, when he was younger, been here, I'm gonna say it was probably when he was like 9 or 10. He wanted to be some kind of space scientist, and he wanted to go to the moon or to Mars. Want to be one of the first Filipinos on Mars because he's Filipino American. And now he's to the point where he wants to be a neurosurgeon, and he still wants to look into the space program somehow to bring that knowledge there. But at the same time, he wants to try to find a way to cure epilepsy. You know, and he's really so, the way he is with neurosurgery is the way I was with helicopters. So I don't know what it is in us that puts us going in the direction we go. I don't know if it's the Irish in us. I don't, honestly, I don't know. But he's the same way with that as I was with helicopters. So. Well, look, Eternal, I appreciate you. I've got to run out and pick my son up from work. He's getting ready to get off here in a few minutes. And I'll probably be back on. I don't do anything on Sundays. Sunday is the Sabbath, so I'll probably be back on live on Monday sometime. Probably later in the evening. We'll see. But I appreciate you hanging out with me so long, talking with me. You know, like I said, feel free to ask any questions in any video. Check out other content. But I've got some playlist set up with prepping, baking, canning, all that stuff. But it was good talking to you. You take care. You stay blessed.
Bye bye. Bye. See you next.
And we'll see you in the next one, all right? And same to you. Very blessed weekend. Take care.
You too. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed weekend.